Welcome to Dave's Garage. This is episode 10, part 8. Now in this episode, before I reconnect the front and the back of the helmet together, I'm going to put on the decals for the top of the helmet. I'm also going to put on the brow on the front of the helmet. Now in the movie there was two types of helmet. There was a stunt version of the helmet and a hero version, and the differences between the two of these was that the hero version had 3 breathe holes and the stunt version had 4. I presume it had 4 because to make it easier for the stunt guys to work. The hero version had smoked bubble lenses and the stunt version had flat green lens made out of a piece of flat green acetate. And the brow on the hero was a little lower than the brow on the stunt. I'm not sure why that was. And also the decals were different on both. Well, the decals on the original helmet were all painted by hand, but we're using the ones that come with the kit, and they're really quite nice. So my helmet is really along the lines of a hero helmet. Of course, being an FX helmet, it's one of the biggest helmets out there, so it's not going to be completely movie accurate. But when it comes to movie accuracy, I think what it's going to be is just pleasurable and enjoyable for the person who's wearing it. If you watch the movie and if you slow down the tape and pause it when you see the stormtroopers and the sandtroopers, especially in A New Hope, you'll see all sorts of crazy things with their uniforms. Rivets and bolts and pieces of gaffer's tape and different colours on the decals, and some of them don't have decals on. If you notice on A New Hope, when Princess Leia gets shot by the guy who's standing next to him when he says, you know, set your weapon for stun, if you see the guy on his right, he has no decals here along the cheek at all. And if you look at the brow on some of the stormtroopers and sandtroopers, some of it's hilarious. It's not even straight across there. The most noticeable one is a sandtrooper in Mos Eisley when he stopped Obi-Wan and Luke. If you look at him, he's got the orange shoulder. His brow is almost like that. It's pretty funny for me. Some of them are a little just kind of squiffy, looks like they're raising an eyebrow. Some of them are lower and some of them are a little bit higher. So, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to have it a little bit lower than a stunt version, and I just like the way it looks. So I'm going to put that on there. Also, you notice in the movie that the brow stops right here at the end where this decal is going to go. Now I'm going to take mine just a little bit further, which means I'm going to have to cut around it where the earpiece is, but it's also going to help cover up this connection where the front and the back meet. So before I do that, I'm going to put the decal on here at the temple on each side. Now give it a good clean on where you're going to put the decal. I've already put the one on the kind of cheekbone here. Didn't have any trouble with it at all. It's a really nice vinyl that they use. There's 2 different types of vinyl out there. There is calendar vinyl, which is thicker, and then there's high performance, which is thinner. And this that comes with a kit is high performance, because it is very thin, and you may think, well, thinner is better. Well, yeah, thinner is better in the vinyl world, because they want it to be able to look like it's paint. So also with the calendar version of a decal, what happens is that over time, especially if it's exposed to sun and weather, calendar version will shrink, whereas the high performance, that's what came with this kit, will not want to shrink away from the edge. So these are pretty good decals. I'm happy with them. I did get a small bubble on my cheekbone decal here, which to get the bubble out, I got a pin and put a little hole in the bubble and then squeeze the air out. But apart from that, it really went on quite nicely. So I'll put these decals on, you can see me doing that, and then we'll put the brow on and give it a trim. Okay, to put the decal on here, I've already cleaned the surface, but you don't want any grease at all, really. Grease on your fingers is the worst thing, and you don't want any dust or anything underneath your decal, because it won't be an air bubble, it'll virtually be something you'll never be able to get out. So it's pretty good. And what I'm going to do is, there's two types of decal on this sheet. One has a masking tape on it, and the other one doesn't. Now with this one, we'll be able to show you how to lay it down. It would be preferable if all of them had this tape over it. This release tape, what it does, it helps you pick the decal off the sheet and put it on, smooth it down, and then remove the tape. And what it does, it helps you put the decal on there easier, and also you have a lot less bubbles. But unfortunately we don't have it on this part of the sheet. So what I'm going to have to do is carefully remove the decal. And because it is high performance, it will stretch if you put too much pressure on it. So, hopefully you can see this. I'm going to put it on there, and I'm not going to press it down. I just want to put it on there for placement to make sure that I have everything lined up as best that I can. That is just a little off. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to very carefully just pick up an edge. Just pull it up. You can see if you do this too many times you will stretch it, so let me try that again. Okay. Now I'm happy with that placement. What I'm going to do, get myself a nice clean towel here. I'm just going to start at the top, slowly work my way down, just rubbing it in. Trying to get rid of any air bubbles. There you go. No air bubbles.